Today I am showing you a 5-step, 5-ingredient Italian bread recipe that literally takes just 1 hour to make, start to finish. Our family devours this bread, and we kind of have a saying around here that
bread of life.
So we think you're going to love this quick bread recipe. As a busy mom of 4, I am always looking for recipes that are fast, because let's be honest, who has time to let your bread rise for 6 hours?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I mix up this Italian bread in 15 minutes, let it rise for 20, and then bake it for 25 minutes. We love eating it when it's hot and fresh. Watch till the end for an easy recipe to screenshot that you can save for later. So without further ado, here are the 5 ingredients that you are going to need. Water, yeast, honey, salt, and flour. Step 1, activate your yeast. Combine 1.5 cups of warm water with 1 tablespoon of honey and 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast, or 1 packet. Warm water and sugar are key for yeast activation. The yeast is dehydrated and needs to reactivate in the water, and the sugar acts as a fuel for the yeast. I know sourdough is a huge fad right now, but in my opinion, baking with yeast is so much quicker, reliable, and doesn't take a ton of forethought. Of course, making sure your yeast is active is very important, so here are a few things you want to look for. Bubbles. When your yeast is active, you will see it become bubbly and foamy after a few minutes. If your water stays flat or everything sinks to the bottom and doesn't change, then it's likely dead or inactive. Smell. An active yeast is going to have a strong, pungent smell when it begins to bubble. You want to be able to smell it. If there's no smell, it's probably a goner. In all, activating your yeast will take about 5 minutes, and then you'll be ready to move on to step 2. Step 2, mix in your flour and salt. Add 1.5 teaspoons of salt and 4 cups of flour to your water and yeast mixture. Today, I had my littlest baking assistant holding my teaspoon until I needed it. For the flour, I like to start with 3 cups and mix well with a fork, and then add 1 more cup and switch to using my hands to pull the dough together. You want the dough to not be too sticky to handle. All of this mixing to get the flour incorporated will be enough, and no extra kneading or use of a stand mixer is required. Step 3, form the loaf. I usually start to form the dough into a loaf in my bowl and then set it on a baking sheet to finish shaping it. It usually takes just a few pats, tucks, and folds to get it all into a long, narrow loaf shape. I want to encourage you that it doesn't have to be Pinterest perfect. This recipe is easy and forgiving, and no matter how it ends up looking, it will be delicious. Step 4, let the bread rise. While the bread is rising, you can leave it uncovered or you can cover it. I let it rise for about 20 minutes, or sometimes just however long it takes for my oven to preheat to 350 degrees, and then it's time to pop it in the oven. Step 5, bake for 25 minutes at 350 degrees or until golden brown. Wow, look at the timing. 6 seconds left. Whoa! When it's finished, take it out and enjoy with lots of butter. I like to bake this bread when I'm making chicken and rice soup or French onion meatballs. It's crusty on the outside and soft on the inside and so delicious. I'm excited about this bread knife. I only had like an old, not very sharp knife that I think we had since Blake and I got married. So I finally bought a new one and I'm very happy about it, and it'll be my first time to try it out and see how it cuts. As a busy mom, I love that I can make this bread in just 1 hour, which means I don't have to plan super far ahead in order to have amazing bread for my family and friends to enjoy. If you're looking for more quick and easy baking recipes, you're going to love my 3-minute, 3-ingredient pie crust recipe. And if you don't have a whole hour to make bread, you're going to love my quick biscuit recipe that can be made from start to finish in just 15 minutes, making it a perfect side dish or fast breakfast. Thanks for watching. Pause here for the recipe so you can screenshot it and then go make some delicious bread.
Bread is life.